All right, President Biden finally uniting the country in agreement around one notion. The economy totally stinks. A majority of Americans disapprove of Biden on nearly every key economic concern. Only 37% approve of his handling of the economic recovery. And Joe gets worse numbers on issues like gas prices and inflation. Nearly 80% of Americans say the economy is an extremely or very important factor in how they will vote. The media trying to warn Democrats of what's to come.
President Biden is a serious drag on Democratic candidates nationwide, and it's driven by his approval rating on a range of issues. He is badly underwater on all of the top issues, including the big ones: inflation, gas prices. He has less than 30% approval rating on the issues that we're told by voters are dominating their state of mind.
Meanwhile, gas prices hit a staggering record high at $4.86 a gallon, doubling since Biden's presidency began. But the administration is having no problem passing the blame on their economic woes.
The price of gasoline is not set by a dial in the Oval Office. And when an oil company is deciding hour by hour how much to charge you for a gallon of gas, they're not calling the administration to ask what they should do. They're doing it based on their goal of maximizing their profits.
Gas prices are up $1.40 a gallon since Putin moved troops into Ukraine.
If you look at what happened when Putin started amassing troops on the border with Russia, the price of gas has increased by $1.51.
Well, there you go. Welcome back, Dana. You were missed by...
I wondered if people would notice that I got suspended.
No, well, I mean, it was right before. I mean, it was pretty awful what you said.
Yeah,
and
just... next time, hold my hand before you talk.
Yeah. And to retweet that was disgusting. I mean, even Dave Weigel wouldn't do that. I have a question for you, though. You know, they've been doing this before. I think it was last week was that President Biden says, we don't have a switch to turn on baby formula. In this case, it's Mayor Pete saying, we don't have a dial. It's like, we know that. We understand that there's no magic formula. But you are in charge. So what the hell are you doing? Don't tell us, I wish I had a switch.
So I had this pattern where they miss the problem or they misdiagnose it. Then when it happens, they try to say, well, it's not going to be that bad. Remember, inflation's transitory. Then they realize, oh, crap, we got a problem. So then they try to find someone to blame. And then that person's like, wait, you can't blame me. It's on you. And then they try to change the subject again. And then they constantly have him out there saying, Joe Biden, what he really wants more than anything is to get out in the country and travel more and be out there more. And let me just tell you something. No political or policy problem has ever been solved in the history of the world with a communication strategy.
Right.
And certainly not by somebody who has not been able to answer the mail so far. On the baby formula one, by the way, Susan Rice is the domestic policy chairperson. They went for months and they didn't tell him that this was a problem. And he went out and said, well, if we were mind readers, well, you didn't have to be mind readers. You just have competent staff.
Exactly. It's like, we're not mind readers. We don't have a switch. We don't have a dial. It's always like, we're not asking you to be any of those things. Just do the right thing. Do your damn job or get out of there, Judge. What is this you hear this scuttlebutt, which is a slang for a gossip, that Biden is seething. He's seething because his numbers are now lower than Trump. He was supposed to be the antidote to Trump.
Yes.
And now he's less popular.
Yes, and here's the amazing part of it. But before I get to that, I love that you're back, Dana. I missed you for 10 days. I really
nice to be
did.
back with
Who did you not like, Judge? Who did you not like?
No, I just love Dana, and I'll leave it at that because she's smart, and she's quick.
Wow.
And okay, so
that's a subtweet.
And you know what's amazing about Joe Biden? He thinks, okay, now that his numbers are worse than Donald Trump, he thinks he's going to be able to go out into the public and convince people that he is shrewd, he is smart, he is capable of turning it around. You know what, Joe? Get out there. Go out there and talk to people if you can. Put yourself out there and try to explain to the American people why the numbers are so bad, why there is such a cultural division between the right and the left, why 83% of the country are not only worried about the economy, they're worried about the future of this country. They're worried about their safety, their security, and they have doubts. For the first time, I don't remember reading about this I just don't remember reading about it. They have doubts in the nation's political system. The Democrats have so trashed the system, whether it's the criminal justice system or the Supreme Court system or the whole thing, that people are like, maybe America isn't what they said it was, and we're going to have to fix it.
Jessica, in the green room, you said to me that, wow, if only Biden had concentrated on real issues instead of this virtue signaling wokeism, we wouldn't have the worst president in the history of the United States. I thought that was so frank and honest of you. Care to elaborate more on that?
It really was. And I'm glad that, you know, what's between friends just stays what's between friends in the green room. To the judge's point about everyone's saying that they're scared for the future of democracy, the last president tried to overturn an election result and didn't mind if his vice president got hanged for it. So if you want to talk about institutional
I think it's hung, do you want to say?
Actually, it is hanged.
It's hanged. It's hanged.
But nice diversion. I'm not done.
Clinton still
Oh my
thinks she
God.
won the election.
She absolutely doesn't. She's sitting in Chappaqua, well aware of the fact that she's not the president of the United States of America.
Are you sure that's really her?
Oh, my God. Okay. So I actually think, because now Democrats are facing the potential of losing seats that are at least lean blue, right? Like bright blue is still going to be fine. So I think the president can serve a purpose in terms of going and talking to people who are likely to vote for Democrats or could still be persuaded. And then individual congressmen and senators are going to have to just figure out if they want Biden with them or not, if that makes sense in terms of their district. But the frustration that's going on when you look at the numbers, and I can see he's sitting there saying, I've created over 8 million jobs in 15 months. Unemployment's at 3.6%. Why is this going so poorly? That I get the frustration, and maybe his staff should just say, we have a few months to fix this, let him go, right? He won the 2020 election going out there, gaffe prone and all, by getting out there on the trail. What are you going to say? He didn't win the? Why are you looking at me like that?
He was pretty much in the basement or in a truck.
That
with
is
a mask
absolutely
on.
not true.
Okay.
All right, Jesse, wrap it up for us.
He made the mistake of trying to separate the economy from inflation. He kept on saying the economy's great, but I feel your pain with inflation. It's not what you want. Permission to make an analogy?
Of course.
That's like saying to your buddy, your wife's really hot. I'm really sorry that she keeps cheating on you. You can't separate the two.
Can I take back the permission?
Yeah.
The other
Why
thing,
did you hold my hand?
the other thing he did was now he says there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
You can't tell the American people there's nothing you can do if you're the leader of the free world. We gave you the House, the Senate. We gave you the White House. We gave you Air Force One. We gave you the Treasury Department, allies, everything.
All the normal
We
stuff
gave you a
president
vaccine.
gets.
We gave you a recovering economy. And now all of a sudden there's nothing you can do? Come on. And no one understands that. And then he says, you go out there and I'm going to re-engineer the entire U.S. economy away from fossil fuels and lower the world's temperature, but I just can't lower the price of gas $1. Come on. No one believes any of this stuff. And then what he should have done, he should have fired the Fed chair when he had the chance last time his term was up. Last month, Powell's term was up, and the guy choked on inflation. Remember, during the Trump administration, he raised rates. And then he froze for the first year of the Biden term and didn't do anything until it was too late. It's like hiring a drunk pilot. I mean, he's already lost control of the plane. You think he's going to stick the landing at this point? Lastly, seething about not being able to get out of the White House more. You think Bush or Clinton or Obama would complain that their staff won't let them do an event? They're firing up the jet and they're going somewhere, to a baby formula factory or anywhere. Just get out there. It reinforces the perception from the American people that this guy is powerless.
Yes.
And now he's taking a 4-day weekend. He was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's off today, no events. And he's not even playing golf like other presidents.
Well, that's the
Why
complaint.
do
He
you
can
care
play
what
at
he
any
does?
course he wants to, and he doesn't even play golf. It's like he's given up, and the American people see it.
The
Because he's
complaint
not playing golf.
Yes. And then the complaint, though, is that that he wants to go out and do baby formula events and he's not allowed to. That's not what it is. The president's complaining because they want to go to Delaware for 4 days in the middle of all these crises. That's the complaint.
Delaware is not a swing state.
And also, I just want to, last thing, because permission to have
you were
one
out for 10 days.
30 seconds longer. Jessica, I'm going to take the opposite view. I think the president could actually stop doing so many events. Stop being out there so much. Government should not try to solve every single problem. Take a step back, think about things for a minute, have a couple of days where you're actually thinking, and then go do an event. You don't have to doing events is not helping him at this point.
All right. Well, we're going to have to do an event. It's called a break.
Gross.
That was not what I was thinking. Disgusting. What was she doing?
Thought
on
she
her
got suspended.
suspension? Yeah. We thought maybe you'd learn a lesson, but apparently not. Filthy. Coming up, radical DAs facing a political reckoning after unleashing anarchy in liberal cities.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.